Oh boy. Testing. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. Wow. This is an interesting day, as we say. Fantastic. Welcome to you from around the world and in the United States. We thank you so much for joining us on this day. It is a day before what? You all should know by now. It's the day before the I Love Me, International I Love Me Day. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. So hope you're having some fun today. Are you having fun? I hope you're having fun. Wow. I got caught up into reading a story. I'm not going to tell you what story it is, but anyway. See, again, I'm wearing one of my, let me just move this down so you can see the I Love Me t-shirts. This is the way the fitted one fits. And I have to bring the mic back up. This, of course, is a sample to show you how it fits. Fits nice and hugged to the body. Nice fabric, nice and soft. And, of course, this is a fitted. The one I had on Friday is a beater. And we won't put the other name in front of the beater. Okay, so you've seen that, and hopefully I can get myself into a pink tomorrow, but if not, I'll just get back into my sexy black. And so you can see all the shirts that we have here. And the male t-shirt will be like this, unless they request a beater, then that's fine. We'll give them the beater. But instead of I love me, the male t-shirt is going to just say love me. All right. So that's basically what it is. And tomorrow, I can actually say tomorrow is International I Love Me Day. April 30th is the day that the Lord has made and declared to be the day that you love yourself, the day that you make sure your kids are leaving for school and they're loving themselves. The day you make sure that even your enemies are loving themselves. And that is tomorrow, April 30th. Hallelujah. Praise God. And the day has come. I can actually say tomorrow. So thank you so much for all the support and all the people who ordered their shirts online. And if you haven't ordered your shirt online, you need to order it, because come next year, we want everyone to be wearing I Love Me shirts, whether it's a beater or a fitted like this one. We want you to be in it and be enjoying your own company, your own self, and be proud of who you are, and thank God for how He made you. And make sure every single morning you wake up, as of this day, forget about yesterday. If you didn't do it yesterday, it's okay. You can start today. Today you will tell yourself, I love me. And God loves me too. And the greatest and the biggest love word on this planet is the word L-O-V-E. Love, 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 love. So we're also very proud that the shirts are made in America. I went out of my way to get that done. So made in America, fantastic. We should all try to do what we do, have it made in America, and make sure that the quality is good. I am pleased with the quality of the shirts, and I love them all, every color. If I could wear one every day, and I got so many compliments every time I wear them. On Friday, I had it on, and people were, just saying, "Whoa, where did you get that saying?" And oh my goodness, that is such a good thing to think about. I ended up in conversations on Friday with people at the register, and holding up the line, talking about, people are saying, well, one lady said, well, I hope they don't love themselves too much now, so they get too, into themselves. I said, no. She said, no, I understand what you're trying to do, but, some people love themselves so much they act as if they have been delivered. So I said, yes, no, we want them to love themselves for who they are and stop trying to be someone else. And it's so wonderful how easy you start a conversation with just 3 little words. I love me. You have that t-shirt on. Someone comes up to you, or you're making a transaction and someone is going to be saying something. My goodness. It's fantastic. Yeah. So as we encourage you to love yourself, and remember to always be drinking your water too. It's important to drink your water so you can flush and continue to detox. And of course, someone thanked me for introducing them to Rad Wellness yesterday. So I'm happy to report that to Mr. Dax Dunn of Rad Wellness and let him know that people are happy that they're on their detox program, whether it's 10 days like me, 21 days, and whether they have to continue because they need to lose the weight with just the BOL. Wow, that is fantastic. So we're happy to know that things are going well for everyone who comes on the show. So we invite you to be part of our team. If you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, if you'd like to be a partner of the show or advertise on the show, we encourage you to give us a call at 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. And we invite you, encourage you, and plead with you to love us on Facebook and spread the word on Facebook to all your Facebook friends about the I Love Me Crusade and the Diana Wright Show live online, because everything and everyone around the world and all over this planet is able to watch the show. You know, whether they have satellite or not, all they need is Wi-Fi and a computer or a smartphone or an iPhone or an iPad, whatever it is, you know, you can watch the show from wherever you are. So we thank you so much for joining us. And I am so proud the fact that the shirts are made in America. I am really pushing up my shoulders and straightening up for that one, because I really went out of my way, and it took me a long time to find someone, but I did. And I'm proud of the fact that I did that and was diligent in doing that, so I could bring you something made in America that's done well. All right? So for all of those of you who have ordered more shirts, and some people couldn't get their shirts in time for tomorrow, but we're still going to be celebrating because, you know, the orders came in late, and, you know, there's a process to get things done the right way. But I so appreciate everyone, Dr. Melanie, Novlet Gale, everybody, Dax Dunn, and I can just go on, Simone McLeish, everyone that has, my cousin in New York, that have just come on board and purchased shirts and, you know, just love us. So we encourage you to do the same, and we encourage you most of all about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day, and then I'll tell you tomorrow why I decided to choose April 30th, all right? Before we begin and getting into the meat of some of the stories that I thought you would like to know about today, I'm just going to remind you about, I got a posted email, actually an email from my husband that is, I guess is an email that's going around to everyone, and it's called God Post-it Notes. And I was actually very happy to receive it. I received it and I read every single one of them, but the ones that I truly loved and popped out at me that I thought I must share with you, just in case you were not one of the fortunate ones to get God's Post-it Notes. It simply, one says, don't let your worries get the best of you. Remember, Moses started out as a basket case. And I actually chuckled about that one because I thought, my goodness, this one is truly funny. Reminding you of Moses, who started out as a basket case. So don't worry about your worries too much, okay? Because look at Moses. All right, the next one. When you get to your wit's end, you'll find God lives there. So when you get so mad and so frustrated, yes, and I do get that way, and I'm sure you do too, everyone does. You get to your wit's end because something actually ticks you off so much that you're at that wit's end. But when you get to that wit's end, guess who is there with you? God is there. He actually lives at your wit's end. So I thought that one was fantastic and super great. Because just imagine when you're getting so mad. And remember, I told you on Friday that when you're getting so frustrated about something and someone who's done you wrong or whatever it is, just say 3 little words, because God lives there with you. And all you need to do is remind yourself, I love me. And guess who lives where I'm at right now in my anger state? It is none other than God and his son Jesus. They're right there with you. So I want you to just keep that in mind constantly. That is just a good quotation from the God Post-it notes. And you're supposed to be passing them along. So I'm just passing along to you a few, and you can go on and find them for yourself. But the next one is just one line. Peace starts with a smile. Isn't that wonderful? Peace starts with a smile. And I'll add to that another one-liner. I love me starts with loving you. Simple. It might sound complicated to some people because they're going, love me? I don't even love what I see in the morning when I wake up. This is too that. Ooh, what is Diana talking about? It's so simple. Peace starts with a smile. Loving yourself begins with 3 little words. I love me. That's how it begins. It's simple. It's easy. Do it. You'll feel it, and you'll feel so much better about you. I promise you, you will. And tomorrow we're going to ask people to call in and just give kudos to the I Love Me Crusade and just, say whatever you want to say. Because Dr. Melanie will be here on the 8 o'clock hour, and I'll be here by myself at 10:30 tomorrow. No, I won't be by myself. Dax is going to join me tomorrow morning just to, get the fever going. And anyone else, we invite you to join the party. It's going to be a party tomorrow, a celebration. And we'll just love to have you call in and just share something about loving yourself, what it has done for you, how does it make you feel when you say it, and all of that good stuff. So I'm depending on you to do that tomorrow. I know I can depend on Dax. Am I able to depend on each and every one of you that's out there? That's telling their friend on Facebook right now, the number to call tomorrow morning, 561-228-1921, 561-228-1921, or tomorrow at the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to do this on both shows tomorrow to really rev you up from wherever you are on the planet. So we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. And we thank you for being a part of the I Love Me Crusade. Getting people to a place where they love themselves, love who they are, and stop trying to be someone else. And maybe, just maybe, we will be able to eliminate the jealousy and the fear and the anger and the defeat that we sometimes have. And we will be reminded that when we get to our wits' end, God lives there, and I Love Me lives there too with you. So here's another one. I thought this one was fantastic also. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. So if it's raining cats and dogs in your life right now, just keep on dancing. Dancing in the rain. Because life isn't about waiting for the season or the storm to pass. Because I say season, I add season in there with the storm, because everything in life only lasts for a season. If you go back in time and think and just use your brain for a minute, quiet yourself and think about all the storms in your life so far, whether you're 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 or 80 or 90, whatever age you are. Just think back a minute. How many storms have you gone through in your life? They all just lasted for a season. They're 4 seasons, the seasons of the year. Look at that. Winter doesn't last forever. Spring doesn't last forever. Summer doesn't, not even if you live in Florida, summer lasts forever. Because you get changes. And fall certainly doesn't last forever. In some places when you live, when it's cold, you think winter will never end, but it does end. Just like whatever you're going through in your life right now, I promise you. And I am promising you because I have received God's promises and God's blessings and continue to receive them every single day. And when I get to my wit's end of my anger, I know God lives there. And I will really always say to myself, God, I love you and I love myself too. So help me through this moment of my wit's end. So here we go. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. What is raining in your life today? Are you giving up because it's raining so hard? I am here to beg you and ask you to dance in the rain. Don't worry about tomorrow. Just think about this moment. And I encourage you to keep on dancing in that rain until it ceases. Because remember the song that I play sometimes on the show to open the show. I believe that your storm has gone away. The clouds have gone and the rain has stopped. But you need to have faith and you need to believe in the mighty one, that's Jesus. And receive the blessings. Because a lot of us just don't know how to receive, you know. Someone comes and gives you a gift and you go, oh, why are you giving me this? It's not my birthday. Just receive the gift and say, thank you, Jesus, for sending someone to give me a gift. It's precious when someone gives you a gift. Just receive it. And if we look at the story of Ruth and Naomi, remember, Ruth, she wanted favor, to find favor with Boaz. But as I listened to Joseph Prince and he explained it so deeply, even when Ruth got her favor, she questioned the favor because she asked Boaz, why do you favor me? Why are we asking why? When we receive God's favor and his blessings and his grace, we need to just accept it and thank him for it. And stop asking why you give me the gift. Some of you might be asking, why am I telling you to love yourself? Because I love me and I would truly, truly want you to love yourself too. Because it actually takes off a whole lot of burdens off your shoulders. You get light, you see. And you're able to hold up. Be strong in who you are. And there's something that's called the third voice. I think it was Mr. Murdoch that was explaining it on television. That third voice in your life that seems to take you down the wrong word, the wrong journey, the wrong road. And that journey is normally the journey that you should not take. Some of us who eliminate people out of our lives that we should never have eliminated because of the third voice that's telling us some crap. And he used the example of Adam and Eve in the garden. The serpent was the third voice. Who is the third voice in your life that's taking you down the wrong road and down the wrong way and the wrong journey? Who in your life that you need to get rid of and you actually got rid of someone else that you should not have gotten rid of? Reflect today. Take the time to reflect. The day before the International I Love Me Day, take the time to reflect. So that tomorrow you will be free, totally free. I'm promising you, you will be free because you will be able to say, I love me and mean it and feel it and say it with passion and receive it. Don't ask about the gift that God will give you. Because remember, I told you, you need to open your boxes each day. Whether you choose a golden box or a purple box, tied with opposite ribbon. Open that box and receive the blessing that God gives you for that day. Even though your night might have been miserable and yesterday was just a dog, today you will receive the blessing that you were hoping for. And you need to quiet yourself to hear the voice of the Spirit that speaks to us. And that voice, we all have it. It's in us. And when you hear that small voice in you telling you something, Listen to it. It never leads you astray. It never takes you on the wrong journey. Just make sure you know that that is Jesus speaking to you or God speaking to you through the Spirit, that small voice in your soul. So I'm here to encourage you today, to lift you up, and to ask you to keep on dancing in the rain. Because the rain will not fall forever. It cannot. It just can't. And if you look at it in that way, just the way you sit down and you think negative thoughts and you remember how your mother told you this and your daddy told you that and you didn't have a dad and you didn't have a this and you don't have a boyfriend and you don't have a man in your life, you can think about all those negative things. So just take a moment and erase those and think of the positive things and see how much greater and how much more wonderful life would be for you individually. And just pass it on to your children. Pass it on to them. They'll feel it too. Because they have bad days too. You know, they're just little people. I don't even call them children. Most of the time I call them little people. Because that's who they are. They're people. They have the same feelings like you and I do. They're just more free and more honest about it. You know, little kids, they'll be smiling about things and you're going, why are they smiling? Because they have no burdens yet. So let's take ourselves back to our childhood. Eliminate all the negatives and embrace all the positives as we move on into tomorrow. The day that the Lord is making for us to love ourselves. International I Love Me Day. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus. The day has come that I can actually be saying tomorrow. Tomorrow. Today is a gift. Okay, the last one. The task ahead of us is never as great as the power behind us. So don't worry about where we're starting, small or whatever, because I have the power of God behind me, supernaturally pushing me forward. And that's what I hope that He's doing for you. But you have to receive it for yourself. No one can. Your mother can't, your father can't, your sister can't, your brother can't, your spouse can't, your significant other can't, and your children can't. You have to decide, you and you alone. You're in this by yourself. Loving yourself is by yourself. No one else can help you with that. You have to receive it and put it in your soul and in your spirit deep. So no one can extract it. Because when God is about to bless you or when He is blessing you supernaturally, there is no one on the planet with 2 feet walking on this earth that can stop it. So I just want you to receive it and not question the blessings that you receive, the favor you receive from God. Don't question it. Don't be like Ruth asking about why you're favoring me. And I watched a movie over the weekend, one of Tyler Perry's movie, about can do good all by myself. And the young girl in there that was so bitter because her mom had died from a drug overdose. And she was determined to be mean and protect her 2 brothers, but she was determined to just be mad all the time. And when she finally found someone who came, of course, through the church, to take care of her and her brother, despite the fact that her aunt didn't want to. She questioned it. She asked him, why are you being so nice to us? Who are you? Why you're so nice? But they didn't know his story. His story was that he was so beaten down as a young boy coming from Mexico in the story, that he figured this is the only way that he can heal himself by being good to other children. So again, and I can go down the list for you, and I'm sure you can think of some people in your life that you have given a gift to, and they ask you, it's not my birthday, why are you giving me a present? Receive the present and thank God for the present. Because the present is all we have. We can't know what's going to happen later on. life changes in a moment. And I keep coming back to the Boston Massacre. Now they're saying that the mother was talking to her son about jihad. Oh, we're going to find out much more. Questions, few answers. But did anyone who went to that marathon just to have a good time think that that would be their moment, that they would die, or that would be their moment where they would lose their legs or their limbs or be brain damaged or anything like that? No! No one there thought that. Maybe we'll find out later that there was someone there who their spirit told them not to go and they went anyway. Yeah, maybe. I think there's a man that's like that, but he didn't get hurt. His spirit just led him there to help people. So what is in your spirit and your thoughts today? I hope and I pray with you that it is good and you are blessed. And without a doubt, you know that God is going to bless you. But you have to believe it, to receive it, and have faith and trust in the mighty one, because no man can do what he can do. No man. And any man that's going to do something for you, he's the one that's giving that man or that woman the ability or the courage to do it for you. So, once again, welcome from around the world and in the United States. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the Diana Wright Show live, and we are just reminding you and showing off our fitted shirt, t-shirt for the I Love Me Crusade campaign, and tomorrow is International I Love Me Day. Someone told me the other day that I'm the mother of convincing. I hope I'm convincing you right now. So, those are the great things that I had to share with you from the God Post-it Notes. And I just wanted to run down something that I thought was so funny because it all ties into what I'm talking about here. President Obama's correspondence dinner over the weekend, where, you know, he gets a chance to laugh at himself and be a comic. And he talked about the mogul, the hotel mogul, which is, of course, you know, he's from Vegas because you must have heard his name, Adelson. He spent $100 million on negative ads fighting against President Barack Obama, trying to prevent him from winning a second term. And what did it get him? Nothing. Remember, he was the one who was behind lots of I can't think of his name right now, but he was, you know, the one receiving most of his money. And then when he couldn't win the nomination and Mitt Romney did, I just wondered, okay, so what is he going to do with his money now? I truly wondered at that time. But now we know what he did. He decided, I mean, after the primaries for the Republicans were finished, he just kind of went after Obama. $100 million is what he spent. And President Obama jokingly said, it would have been better if he offered me the money and paid me to drop out of the race. I might have considered it, but I'm sure First Lady Michelle Obama would have taken it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It is absolutely insane. And I just had a good laugh about that because I thought to myself, it is so wonderful to see the president be able to take all of this negative stuff and just put it into a positive comedic line so that we can have a good laugh. Yeah? It was so fantastic. So I'm just here to say, and I'm joining it with what I'm saying, is that even though, remember what I just said? When God is about to bless you, no man, not even Adelson with his $100 million that he can afford to lose, can stop you. Because President Barack Obama is blessed, and I refuse to think otherwise. He is a divine blessed person. And that's the reason he's where he is. And no man, not even the man with $100 million, the Las Vegas mogul, hotel owner, $100 million is nothing for him to lose? Not he, not anyone else could have stopped President Barack Obama from winning a second term. Isn't that incredible? And Newt Gingrich is the one that I wanted to remember, because Adelson was the one backing him the whole time, why he stayed in the race so long. Even though his wife was saying, you know, he's asking me if we can have like an open marriage thing going on. He wanted all of 2 women? What's his problem? He doesn't even look that great. He needs to just lose some weight and shrink down a little bit. Mr. Gingrich thinking he's a playboy, wanting to have 2 wives. Or 1 wife and a mistress. I don't know which way he wanted to play it. But, you know, Mr. Adelson was holding him up. And then when he couldn't, because remember at one stage he was the leader of the pack on the Republican side. But when he lost that leadership, he just kept going down, down, down. And Mitt Romney just kind of crucified him with his negative acts. So he got crucified by the time he got to Florida. But when you are under divine blessing and favor like President Barack Obama, no one could have stopped you. They're talking about Hurricane Sandy and the 47% tape. Despite those things, I believe and I know for sure that President Obama would have won the election anyway, despite the 47% that made us know how Mitt Romney actually feels about us. And I say us because 47% is basically all of us. Okay? So let's just think about that and see how good God really is when we think about that. Barack Obama, lots of things could have derailed his campaign for a second term. But he's under divine intervention, protection, supernaturally. So many things could have gone wrong. They tried to resurrect Reverend Wright and all that. Nothing stuck. Because when you're under the divine, supernatural blessing of God through his son Jesus, no man can stop that. So am I convincing you enough today to get you out of that depressed state that you're in and having you keep on dancing in that rain? I hope I am. I truly, truly hope I am, because I'm giving it to you from my soul. And as I said, when my book comes out, Deadly Negligence, and you read it, then you will understand the authority from which I speak. It's my story. It's my daughter's story. It's my family's story. My husband is in there too. So you will see and you will know that I'm not just talking because I like to talk. I'm talking because I have received the blessings and continue to receive the blessings of the mighty one, Jesus. So let us all strive for that and get rid of the jealousy and the envy. Remember they said in the Bible, jealousy is like the grave. That's how bad it is. So we need to get it out of our system. The envy and the meanness. We need to get it out. I'm not talking about when you get angry with your family about anything, or you get angry with your friend about something and you try to fix it and you fixed it and everybody is loving everybody the next day. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about some deep-seated anger in some families where no one speaks to each other. Especially your parents. You need to fix that. So, there you go. So that was wonderful stuff to share with you. And Michael Jordan, yes, he got married on Saturday. And this is how they're describing it. In a super private, super exclusive wedding in Palm Beach. Well, if you're doing it on the island of Palm Beach, it has to be super exclusive, because the island of Palm Beach is where the wealth lives. Okay? And where all things beautiful live in terms of sea and houses and lushness and everything. Blessings, eternal blessings on the island of Palm Beach, okay? So, the model that he got married to, I guess he was dating for a while, her name is Yvette Prieto. I guess she's Spanish, and they got married at the Episcopal Church at Bethesda by the Sea. Beautiful church. And they had to let you know and remind you that the Donald, I know some of my listeners don't exactly like the Donald, but the Donald actually got married there. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're wishing Mr. Jordan and his bride, his new bride, his second bride, well. And of course, you know, all the big wigs were there, the big stars like Scottie Pippen and Patrick Ewing. Haven't heard his name for a while. Patrick Ewing, the Jamaican basketball player, formerly played for the Knicks in New York. Spike Lee, the movie director, he was there. Ron Harper, one of Jordan's teammates. And of course, guess who was also there? Tiger Woods was also there, Mr. Golfer himself. He was in presence at the ceremony. Beautiful church, Bethesda by the Sea. My goodness, it's such a grand church. It reminds me of some of the churches that you see when you go to Europe. That is definitely one of those that you see when you go to Marseille in France, or you go to Rome, or, you know, Spain or Italy. Any parts of Italy or anywhere there, you see churches like that. Beautiful, beautiful church. If you're ever in Palm Beach, make sure you go see that church by the sea. It's really beautiful. And I want to share with you something else now. We're getting off in another tangent now, because there's a list of the most dangerous cities in America. There's about 27 of them, I think. I'm going to only share some of them with you now. I'm going to share most of them as we go through the week. But I thought, and they were quite specific in this list. Normally they list them and, you know, they go with some not so much information, but there's tons of information about this. And number 25, I'm going backwards here. I'm reserving number 1 for Wednesday after the I Love Me Day, okay? But I thought I would start off with number 25 is Chicago, Illinois, Washington Park. They're very specific about the neighborhood that they're talking about. 24, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that's near Northwest Springdale. Memphis, Tennessee is number 23, and that's downtown Paul Avenue, Walnut Street. They're very specific about the places. They tell you that if you go to these places, make sure you avoid those places. I'm assuming especially after dark. And in St. Louis, Missouri, Columbus Square and near North Riverfront and Carr Square. Goodness. West Memphis, that's Arkansas, northeast intersection of East Broadway Avenue and Ingram Boulevard. I have just not seen a list, because normally they give you a list, but they're not so pinpointing the neighborhoods and the street. Indianapolis, North Indianapolis, they're specific to say. And Flint, Michigan, north of the intersection of East Atherton Road and South Dort Highway. That's in Flint, Michigan. Flint always seemed to have something going on. Nashville, Tennessee, north of Waverly Place. That's in the historic district. So I'm going to hold that because I want to give you the rest of them as we go through the week. I think I'll skip the bad news for tomorrow on International I Love Me Day tomorrow. And I'm also reminding you that when you go to my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com, I'd like for you to go down to the bottom of the page, click on the YouTube icon, and just take some time to see some of the shows that you have not seen. You never know when the word was left there for you. Someone was on the show that gave a great word for you, like Minister Jeff last Wednesday for the 8 o'clock hour. You just don't know. Please go on the site and look at the shows that you've missed. You might just receive something that will lift you out of wherever you are, a word of encouragement or something. And also, if you are an author and you'd like for us to review your book, you can give us a call and we will read the book. I will read the book, and then I'll set up an interview for you on the show and, tell people about the book, like we did the book review for Pastor Sewell a couple of weeks ago. And Dr. Sewell wrote about the great thing that we all think about every day, but no one thought of writing a book about it. The land of disappointment. Disappointment. What a terrible thing. But we actually cannot go through life without disappointment. Do you know that? We really can't. We just cannot go through our lives without a disappointment. Anyone out there who tells you that they have no disappointments in their lives, they lie. Tell them I said so. Okay. We're going to look at a health story that I thought was quite interesting. And if you are someone who's obese or consider yourself to be obese, because even if you're obese, I would love for you to be able to look in that mirror and say 3 little words. I love me. Not because you're obese, you shouldn't love yourself. Because I'm sure if you are obese, lots of you are working on trying to lose that weight. But, people talk about weight loss like it's easy. It's not easy. It is a hard thing to lose weight once you've gained it. It's easy to gain because all you need to do is enjoy some food. Keep on eating, honey child, and you'll be fat in a minute. But when you're ready to lose that weight, when you decide in your mind that you're going to lose that weight, life becomes very difficult. So let no one act as if weight loss is easy. It's not easy. I think the easiest weight loss I've heard people talk about is a detox from Rad Wellness. Because they're losing 13 pounds in 13 days and that kind of stuff. So I have like 3 pounds to lose. So I don't know. I maybe try to trick Dax into giving me some BOL to get those 3 pounds off. And then I'll just try to go down a few more pounds so that just in case because every time you go out and you eat a meal, you come back the next morning, you gain 2 pounds. I'm going, 1 meal, 2 pounds? So maybe you should get below your desired weight. So when you eat, you'll actually be at your desired weight and never ever go over. So that's my recommendation. I'm going to ask Dax about it on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday if he agrees with me, because I think he's probably going to think I'm crazy. But anyway, we'll ask Dax about that on Wednesday, okay? So, but my recommendation to you right now, don't try to stick to, if you want to be 120 like me, stick to the 120. Try to go to like 118, 117. So if you eat some things and, you cheat with a little ice cream and a little cake here and there and stuff, or you go out with your family on the weekend and you have a feast, it kind of just stays at 120 and never goes over. So, okay, you need to go back down, all right? So I'd like for you to do that instead of trying to frustrate ourselves every single day. So I guess I shall say I have another 6 to go. Alrighty. Okay, because as long as you're exercising and you stay healthy, you look good and you feel so much better. Okay, here's a story. I'm not liking this story, but it is a wow story for me, so I'll read it for you. Obese people who think healthcare workers aren't as sympathetic to them as they should be might be right. A new study suggests that doctors don't have a strong and emotional connection with overweight patients compared to slimmer ones. Now, isn't that unfair? That's mean, actually. So, researchers at Johns Hopkins University said this bias might have real health effects on the patients. Overweight or obese patients who experience bias may simply ignore advice to change their lifestyle to lose weight, and it may make them more likely to be dissatisfied with the care that they're receiving from their physician. The study leader, Dr. Kimberly Goodzune, or I'm going to say Goodzune, an assistant professor in the Division of General Internal Medicine at the university's medical school, she said this, quote, "If you aren't establishing a rapport with your patients, they may be less likely to adhere to your recommendations to change their lifestyle and lose weight. For their study, the team analyzed recordings of visits that more than 200 patients with high blood pressure made to 39 primary care physicians. Weight made no difference in the amount of time doctors spent with patients or in the weight counseling they provided. However, the doctors used more words and phrases that showed concern, reassuring, that's being reassuring to the patient, and validating of patients' feelings when they were dealing with people of normal weight compared to those who were overweight or obese. And this is definitely according to the study. And this study was published online in the journal Obesity. Previous research has shown that patients are more likely to follow medical recommendation if there is a sense of empathy and bonding from their doctors. Wow. Some studies have linked those bonding behaviors with patient satisfaction and adherence, while other studies have found that patients were more likely to change their dietary habits, increase exercise, and attempt to lose weight when their physicians expressed more empathy. And this, of course, is a continuing quotation from Dr. Gudzume. Without that rapport, she said, you could be cheating the patients who need that engagement the most, because the people who are overweight, obviously, they need more empathy from the doctor than someone who's of normal weight and good health and don't have anything to worry about. Guzune said doctors should be mindful of negative attitudes and make an effort to bond with overweight and obese patients. She said, quote, patients want information and treatment, but they also need the emotional support and attention that can help them through the challenges that accompany weight loss and the establishment of a healthy lifestyle. So who knew that going to your doctor, especially when you're overweight, they don't spend that much time or, empathize with you with your weight loss thing. They just figure you greedy, you need to go lose some weight. Seems that way. So Dr. Guzune is asking for doctors to be more mindful of this. Because when you offend people and you're their doctor, they're not even going to listen to what you said. So this is something that you really need to keep in mind. So obese people, overweight people are just being discriminated against left, right, and center. Everywhere they turn, they want him to pay for an extra seat on the plane. I mean, they just are going overboard. What was it the other day that the person refused to give the person a massage because she was overweight and she thought she was going to break the table? Wow, what mean spirit we have these days. Anyway, another story on health. Meanwhile, 80 million Americans, or 43% of Americans, working age adults, in 2012 skipped going to the doctor or did not take medicine because of the skyrocketing cost of healthcare. This represents a 27% jump just a decade ago, when there were only 63 million Americans went without medical care because of cost. It's not only the uninsured now, that is the part that's shocking. It's not only the uninsured that are skipping out on going to the doctors or going to fill that prescription or cutting corners, because 28% of people with private health insurance also said they avoid treatment because the costs are just too high. So some people, even though they have insurance, they're refusing to fill the medication because their copay is so high. And I know that for a fact. Just talk to some elderly people who are on several medications and you hear their medication bill alone is hundreds of dollars. So even those with insurance are skipping out on this. And sometimes you really shouldn't. Sometimes the doctors, they're offering us more things than we really need. They want us to take more tests than we really need. And I think we can listen to that small voice in our spirit and in our soul that will tell us that we don't really need that extra test, because you yourself should know that something that you're doing with your diet was not going right for that's why when, I always advise people, if you're going to the doctor, 3 months before your appointment, start living on the right street where your diet is concerned, okay? So that when you go there, you'll actually get a true sense and meaning of what's going on in your system, because you don't want to be taking a test that you really don't need. And remember the doctor in New York that was trying to tell people they have heart problems when they don't, and they were taking all this medication and they were not needing any of that medication because he misdiagnosed them on purpose, because he wanted to keep collecting the money from Medicare and other private insurance companies. So let's just think about the planet and how people operate when they think of money. And whatever you do in life, money should not be your driving force. Your driving force should actually be, how am I going to help someone? Who am I going to help with this message? And as I always say to you here on this Diana Wright Show, and we welcome you once again from around the world and in the United States. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are listening to this program, watching it, because you're at work, you can't watch, you're just listening, or whatever, you have your earplugs in, and you can't always be watching, listen to me carefully. Just take the time to love yourself. And don't be so negative. Because if you are, that's what you hear, and you keep repeating it all the time. But if you keep repeating to yourself the positive things, and you take the time to do it, and you stop making excuses. Oh my goodness, people make so many excuses, and people like to blame someone else but themselves. Stop blaming people and do not tell me come up with an excuse, because I actually heard a pastor say this, and I agreed, that when someone is about to give you an excuse, they're trying to make up a lie. Because if you commit to something, you should actually be calling the person and saying, I can't do this because, and make it be the truth. And make sure you don't have an alternative, because if you have an alternative, you should take that alternative and just go with it. And I think of a good friend of mine who has had a great word from God, and he's, saying, wow, he's not going to share with a lot of people because they're going to come with their negatives. And I said, no, me? Oh no, if God is speaking to you, you obey God. Because whatever obstacles are in your way, he spoke to you and he gave you the direction. So he's going to provide for you wherever that takes you. So forget the naysayers. Just go with the voice of God. Go with that voice. And you should be able to hear and distinguish the difference when God is speaking to you, or it's not just your mind working overtime. Because some of us, our minds work overtime, because we're always thinking about something. Just rest your mind sometimes, especially when you're lying in your bed and everybody else is sleeping. Just close your eyes. You don't even have to close your eyes sometimes. Just imagine the life you want for yourself. Or just be quiet and see what comes into your mind. And sometimes what comes into your mind is the answer you're looking for to take you to the next level. It truly is. So quiet your mind sometimes and just listen to what God puts in and receive it. And then be thankful and move on it. Take action. Okay. Spanking your child is not particularly popular at the moment. A new study, which is being criticized, says a little physical punishment can potentially be good for children. If the spanking comes from a good place, I don't know if you can spank from a good place, but anyway, if it comes from a good place, the study observed a group of Mexican American teens, and it was published in Parenting, Science and Practice. It reported that the effects of physical discipline, verbal admonishments, or spanking can be offset if the child feels loved. And I so agree with that, because if you are telling your child something, even if you're angry, and that child knows that you truly, truly love them, they will receive what you're giving, but they will also remember that you love them. Okay? So, which protects against later antisocial behavior. Other studies have found that spanking can carry a risk of making children more aggressive and hyperactive. And critics of the study say spanking is ineffective as a form of punishment and teaches children to be violent. Now, I'm of the other persuasion, but I'm also, because I don't believe in that spanking thing. It just, to me, it just doesn't work. Whether it's teaching your child to be violent or not, that remains to be seen, but some researchers says it actually does. But for me, I like to be just quiet. You do something, I just stop speaking and let you ponder about what you did. Then after you ponder and you decide to come and apologize because you're big enough to do so, then I will ask you, why are you apologizing? Because I want you to know why you're apologizing to me. Not just to apologize because it's the right thing to do and you say it and you really don't mean it. Because a lot of us do that. Someone does something and, someone mediates and say, oh, say I'm sorry. And you go, I'm sorry. Are you really sorry? No, you're not. Did you just really text me and say you're sorry? No, you're not. You need to face me and tell me that you're sorry. Eye to eye, love to love, because after you're sorry, even though you're not sorry, I still love you. That's the message we want to receive. So if we love our children and show our children love and teach them to love themselves, they're always mindful of that love. They have that love. So when you criticize or when you get mad and point out what they're doing bad, because they do bad things, we all do, they will receive that criticism or that admonishment, and they would also know that you love them. So that's the reason why you're trying to fix what they've just done. Okay? So, but the part that really kind of shocked me was when I read this part of the story that says Florida is one of 19 states. I said 19, not 9, not 10, 19 states that still allow public schools to paddle your children. Most districts have opted out of the practice. Most school districts, thank the Lord, they have, of arbitrary physical discipline of minors. But many in Florida's rural north defend the practice. So if you live in rural Florida, some of those places in Florida that you and I have never been or I haven't even heard of, but they're there, they still embrace the practice of being able to beat their children. A bill introduced in 2011 to stop this never made it to the committee in the Florida legislature. So it's still on the books that if you live in, those North Florida kind of places that a lot of people probably are not inhabiting, you are allowed to beat your kid and get away with it. Wow, who knew? And here we go with this story that I was dying to get to you. An Egyptian bride will pay her ex-husband $7,500 after an Abu Dhabi court determined that she had faked surgery on her lady parts, on her vajayjay, to make him think she was a virgin. Now, why do that? What's wrong with women? What's wrong with people anyway? The large fine was also meant to help the groom overcome the stigma of what is considered in some parts of Arab society to be embarrassing, that you did not marry a virgin. So can you imagine? In the Arab world, if you're not marrying a virgin, you have problems, brother. You are supposed to be embarrassed about that, because you should be marrying a virgin if you are in the Arab world. The court also found that the woman had lied in the couple's marriage contract, falsely stating she had never been previously married, and he found out that oh my God, I'm sorry for this brother. So she was not only married, she went and had surgery to act as if she is a virgin. Yeah, I hear they can do some stuff there and replace that. Yeah, especially if you've had a child and you've had natural birth. I gather doctors can do great things. So if you would like to, and go that route, then welcome. And here's another story, and I think I'm going to definitely pick this one up with Dr. Melanie tomorrow evening on the International Day of the I Love Me Day celebration. Okay, male circumcision reduces the abundance of bacteria living on the penis and might help explain why circumcision reduces HIV risk. This is said by researchers in the United States. The study, published in the online journal MBio, found men who were circumcised as part of the study had 33.3% less bacteria on the penis than those who remained uncircumcised 1 year after the study began. Senior author Dr. Lance Prince, director of the TGen Center for Microbiomics and Human Health, a Phoenix nonprofit research organization, said the study, which involved 156 men in Reiki, Uganda, showed the decrease of bacteria was primarily found in 12 types of bacteria, most of which were intolerant to oxygen. Past studies showed circumcision reduced female to male human immunodeficiency virus transmission. Do you know what that is? I'm going to let Dr. Melanie explain to you. So I'm going to actually underline that so she can explain it in layman's term to you. This study suggests a possible mechanism for HIV protection. Wow. The shift in the number and type of bacteria living on the penis. Further studies will have to be done to demonstrate a change in the penis microbiome can help reduce the risk of HIV transmission. That's said by the authors of the study, and they continue with a quotation saying, "We know that male circumcision can prevent HIV and other diseases in heterosexual men, but it is important to know why." Price said in a statement, "We think that these dramatic changes in the penis microbiome may explain, at least in part, why a male circumcision is protective." Well, who knew that putting your son through that very, very painful process called circumcision, which they talk about a lot in the Bible. Yeah. So I'm going to talk to Dr. Melanie a lot about that tomorrow. Wow. That's a great story. Wow. That one really got me. So I'm going to just say ciao, adios, and goodbye until tomorrow. See you then. And don't forget to keep loving yourself. I love me. Both hands. I love me. T-shirts. This is a fitted one. Tomorrow I think I'm going to wear one of the beaters again, like I did on Friday. And also, I'm reminding you that tomorrow is International I Love Me Day. Woo! Celebration, celebration, celebration. Ring the bells and call out all the good news and the good feelings and everything. Because if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Be blessed and stay prayed up until I see you tomorrow morning at 10:30. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Made in America. Woo. My t-shirts.